Hello, BookTube. I have a bit of a book haul. It's sort of a mixed type of a thing. Um, Cold here today in Vermont, but no snow. So we will see for Christmas. But I'm going to start off. I've shown this on my Instagram, but I haven't shown it on BookTube, with my birthday present, which was last week or early this week or something like that. This thing here, big old beast of a thing, and this is J.R.R. Tolkien, The History of the Hobbit by John D. Ratliff, and includes a complete draft version of The Hobbit with notes and illustrations. This thing's, it's got the little ribbon marker and all that. I've wanted this, and I've asked for it, and my family got it for me, obviously. It's illustrated. It's loaded with stuff about the Hobbit. And it's a deep dive. I was thrilled to have it, so that was my birthday gift, and quite nice, and I really appreciate it. So I thought I'd throw that in. But the rest of this is a book haul today. So I drive up to New Hampshire, and the thrift store I go up to is Listen. Some of you have seen, I think we videoed a little bit of it once when Steve Donahue was up here. He's been there many times. I go there when I can. It's quite a haul for me, but everything is. My little village that I live in has 181 people. So, in the wider town, which is a lot of land, but not much folks, is 2,800, I believe, people. So, and there's no stores per se. There's a gas station and that sort of thing. But we have to drive everywhere to do anything. So, but it's nice. It has its pluses and its minuses. So I'm just going to start off with the book haul stuff. Let me shift here. There's really no place to put these. So not all of these cost $1, every single one of them. The first one I have here is The Year of the French by Thomas Flanagan in one of these New York Review of Book volumes. I know about this story. And it has Seamus Dean did the introduction. I've never read this novel, and I've always been meaning to get to it. One of those Irish things that is really important. In 1798, Irish patriots committed to freeing their country from England landed with a company of French troops in County Mayo in westernmost Ireland. So, I know there's those of you out there who have read it, so if you leave a comment or whatever, I'd be interested in hearing it. That alarm you hear is our ring doorbell because my dog just had to go out. So the next thing I have here is The Old Gringo by Carlos Fuentes. I have not read this again, so I'm glad to have it. This is translated by Margaret Sayers Payton, and the author also helped with that. This is from 1985, and this is the story of Ambrose Bierce, from what I understand, in novel form. So glad for that. And then the recently departed A.S. Byatt. I haven't read this one either. Don't know why. There's something about it. I just have missed it. But this is the children's book. Pretty good shape. And this is the, let's see, when children's book author Olive Wellwood's oldest son discovers a runaway named Philip sketching in the basement of a museum, she takes him into a storybook. World of her family and friends, but joyful bacchanals, Olive hosts are at her rambling country house, and separate private books she writes for each of her 7 children. I have no idea, but I know I like A.S. Byatt, so this will be good. And next, my dog's over here checking out the books. Go on, Bub. Go. And this is Patrick Rothfuss. This is Wise Man's Fear, The Wise Man's Fear. Pretty good shape, big old trade paperback thing. I've read the first one, the Name of the Wind. Is that what it was? Yeah, The Name of the Wind. The maps. I really like The Name of the Wind, so looking forward to this. And I read another thing of his, and I can't remember off the top of my head what it was. Then, E.L. Doctorow, who I like. I was worried I might have had a copy of this because I've had it many times, but I didn't. So in my library, so I'm glad to get it. Loon Lake. I like a lot of his stuff. I think my favorite. I've read Waterworks. What was it? World's Fair, Book of Daniel. But my favorite was Ragtime. No, Billy Bathgate. I would say was my favorite. So glad to have this in the library now. Like I say, it's going to be a challenge following this stuff. And here's a writer I've wanted to read quite a bit. This is Christian Jacques. I know he did the series about Alexander, and this is the Stone of Light, a novel of ancient Egypt, and it's Nefer the Silent. Maybe you can see that a little better. I have the first in the Alexander books too. They don't list his books here. It's sort of disappointing. Why wouldn't they list his books? Oh, I guess they do. So they have the Ramesses books. Okay, maybe I'm wrong. Anyhow, there it is. And this one I was glad to find. I've been looking through this since I got it. This is a Blackwell Publishing. This is Renaissance Drama, an anthology of plays and entertainment. Edited by Arthur F. Kinney. Has quite a list of it. Obviously not Shakespeare, because you can get that pretty easy. I don't think they have Shakespeare, but they have Thomas Kidd, Sir Philip Sidney, Christopher Marlowe, Thomas Dekker, Ben Jonson, Thomas Middleton. They have more than one by some of these folks. I'm just reading out the names. So glad to have this interesting looking volume. In the last few years I've been reading a ton of Shakespeare, so maybe I'll branch out a bit. Then this one I read ages ago, really liked when it first came out, and don't have one in my library, my home library. So, The Shipping News, Annie Proulx. I've liked an awful lot of her stuff. She actually lived around here for quite a long time. And The Ashley Book of Knots. I used to have a nice copy of that too, hardback. I wish I still did. It's a quote from it. But, and you'll see, so a wonderful book that, so she's been the winner of the Pulitzer Prize and the National Book Award. No mean achievement. Then I'm really happy to have this, Candace Millard, Hero of the Empire, The Boer War, A Daring Escape, and the Making of Winston Churchill. I've read his versions of this, loved it. He's always been a character that I've been fascinated by. I have a extensive Winston Churchill collection. There's people who have everything. It's its own industry. I don't have everything. Great photo there. So glad to have this. I'll get to this one actually pretty quickly. So, The Hero of Empire. A young Winston Churchill. Then a Nathaniel Philbrick, author of The Mayflower and The Heart of the Sea. All of these I've read. But I haven't read this one. This is Valiant Ambition, George Washington, Benedict Arnold, and the Fate of the American Revolution. Read plenty on both guys, so I think I will be able to evaluate it pretty fairly. Should be interesting. I like Philbrick as a historian. I particularly like him on maritime stuff, so we'll have to see with this. And then the weird find of the day. So, I was in high school in the 1970s, and I never got a yearbook from one of the high schools I went to, and I found it today in a different state, and from 1978. So, my kids thought my hair was pretty amazing. So that was fun. So a birthday book, the history of the hobby. I'm not going to try to do Steve Pyramid. A bunch of thrift store finds and a yearbook from when I went to high school. So that was fun. So hope all is well, and thank you, BookTube.